Alright, so a little while ago I started doing a mini-series introducing you guys to how our sax players can make a very simple tune sound much more interesting by introducing some different techniques. Last time out we spoke about adding notes to make it more interesting. Today we're going to talk a little about the basics of sound. So the long and short of it is I can change my mouth position, my lip pressure, my tongue position, my throat shape, all these things to produce slightly different variations of the notes, essentially bending between notes rather than just hitting each note in isolation. And it's much more like a singer would actually sing. So for example, if I was playing piano right now, you've got the notes of the piano and that's all you've got. If you want to create a sound in between two notes that are side by side, well, you can't. There's nothing there. Whereas if you're singing, ultimately you can bend up and down onto or off of notes to blur those lines in between notes, because you can produce any sound, even ones that aren't necessarily ones that we traditionally call actual notes. The sax is a bit like that, and it's one of the reasons why I think many people, myself included, really fall in love with the sound of the sax. It's very human, it's very organic sounding. So to give you a few examples of that, on sax I can bend up into notes, and I can bend down off of notes, and even incorporate what we call vibrato, which is basically the combination of the two. Okay, and that's really powerful because that means that even the longer notes don't get boring, because you've got a lovely sort of shimmering effect on the note rather than it being just sort of too stationary. But when you combine all those things with a bit of experience, you can make even a very simple tune sound much more interesting. Yeah, and it means that you've got a lot more interest in your playing. So hope that's interesting. Now lastly, just like last time, if you're a sax player, listen up real quick, because the key thing here is firstly just experimenting. Okay, again, if you get yourself a really good teacher, they can talk you through the specifics of what's going on far better than I can in a short little video like this. But it's all about experimenting, just playing around with lip pressure, tongue position, like I said, to produce these different sounds. But then the really key ingredient is listening. Okay, I don't care if listening to Kenny G or Michael Brecker, whoever inspires you and that you want to sound more like. Listen really carefully to how they're using vibrato, how they're bending notes, and then get your instrument out and see if you can copy that as best you can. And the absolute ideal is to do that with lots of different players. Okay, I'm not trying to turn you into a carbon copy of one particular player. Ideally, if you can be inspired by different players, it all becomes like a melting pot that just makes you a better version of yourself rather than a bad copy of someone else. I hope that makes sense. Have fun. See you next time.